Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Talent Corner. Today, I just wanted to quickly touch on questions to ask at the end of an interview. So I usually get people ask me, is it important to ask a question at the end of an interview? Should I even bother? And the answer is definitely yes. You want the panel, whoever you're meeting with, to know that you are prepared, to know that you're showing interest. And as you'll see when we get into these questions, you also want to get just an appreciation or some more insight that might not necessarily have been captured by the questions that they asked you, right? So the very first question, what does success look like in the role? Very important question. Everybody wants to know, I'm coming into something that is new. It may be similar, exactly the same, or completely different to what I've done before. So you want the panel or the people who know exactly what they expect from this role to tell you what areas are going to show or what areas you need to cover to be successful in that role, right? Second question, which is more an extension of the first one, what do you want me or the role incumbent to have achieved in the next 3 months? So it can be 3 months or you can push it to 6 months. It really just depends on the role. This is usually the best times to do reviews at 3 months or 6 months, which also actually inform whether you are going to be confirmed or not. So you also just want to know what's going to happen at the 3-month interval or the 6-month interval, and what areas should I have covered. So whatever targets, whatever milestones, whatever performance goals that you've set, you want to have an appreciation of those, right? And of course, the third one, which is also an extension of the second one, how will my performance be measured, right? You don't want to be getting into situations where you're unclear about what you're going to be measured against, what counts as good performance, tolerable performance, over and above expectation. So you want to have an appreciation of that coming from the people who are going to hopefully be doing your assessments. The fourth question, how would you describe the culture of the organization? This is a personal favorite of mine because it's going to also just give you an idea of whether this is something that you think you're a good fit for, or this is an organization that is completely against your values or what you want your career direction to be going in. I believe if this one is answered correctly, the panel should also give you some sort of appreciation of, the microcultures of the team you're going into, the department that you're going to, the unit you're going into. So you just, it's going to give you that picture of the culture of the organization. Is it something for me? Is it something that I'm not willing to go with? Is it something that I'm willing to try out? Those kind of questions, right? Number 5, how will this role align to the overall strategy of the organization? This is basically you trying to get an appreciation of what the main contribution of the role that you're going to be in, what the main contribution is to the whole or to the bigger picture. Number 6, what is the biggest challenge or biggest challenges that the company will face in the next year, and how will this role that you are going into assist in overcoming this? So also an appreciation of your contribution to the organization. You want to get a sense of where you fit into the bigger picture, right? Where it's more or less asking what would happen if this role didn't exist and these problems. So you may not phrase it or rephrase it the way I am saying it, but if you get the gist of why the questions are being asked, then you'll be great, right? Number 7, what skills or experience gaps or shortcomings do I need to work on to be perfect or to be a perfect fit for the role? This is a smart way of trying to find out what areas of concern the panel have. So whether it's after reviewing your CV or your resume, or just in your answering of questions that they post for you. So you want to understand, also gauge against where you are against other candidates that they've met with. So by asking what skills, experience, or qualification gaps have they identified that you need to work on, will also put you in a position, should you be hired for the role, to know what areas you need to work on to make sure that going forward you take those gaps, right? And then number 8, what do you love about working here? So pick someone in the panel. If it's one person, obviously it's going to be them answering that question, and then just ask them. It's a feel good question. interviews are tense anyway, so you just want to lighten up the moment, but not taking away from the fact that the answer you get, or the quality answer that you get from whoever is going to be giving you this question or giving you the answer, will also put you in a position to assess, whether this is something that's for you. This is something that, it's a positive question, yes, but it will give you a lot of insight. So ask the right person also. If it's a panel and it has perhaps someone who's external, there's no point in asking them that. So rather pick on either the person that you're going to be working directly with or the closest in line to what you are doing, right? Number 9, a developmental question. I'm very big on development. Obviously, I had to put this in. What is your philosophy on development? Or just an easy way, just ask, how does your organization define development? You get to appreciate whether this is a cutthroat, you're on your own developmental path organization, or whether there's actually proper structures in place to make sure that you're developed, whether it's through bridging those gaps that we talked about, whether it's just personal development, or whether it's just areas that are putting in the effort to make sure that staff is aligned to contributing contributing to the objectives and goals of the organization. And then the final question, my questions are actually going to be 11, but the last one I really had to sneak it in, so let's just say there's still 10, right? 10, what does a typical work day or work week look like for the role? A very nice question. Obviously, days are different, weeks are different, but typical means whoever's going to be answering will give you just an idea of what you're going to be getting into, the daily tasks, the daily duties, the routine work, where it gets crazy, where the targets are moving, or whether it's just a quiet do as you may roll, right? And then those are the 10 questions. The 11th one that I'm sneaking in, which is technically not even a question, is what are the next steps? This is a way of asking when you should expect feedback. So you can ask, what are the next steps, just in case there's another area that you're going to be going into after the interview. They might be psychometrics, there might be a second interview. So by asking this, you also know what to prepare or what to be prepared for. And of course, asking when to expect feedback, it's only fair. It also gives you an idea of when to start bothering people when you have not receive that feedback. So I hope today's session was useful. Pick the ones that are relevant to you. Remember, in an interview, the panel is getting an appreciation of whether you'd be a good fit for them. So basically, by asking, you are also now getting an appreciation of whether they would be a good fit for you. So good luck in those interviews, and I'll see you soon.